Welcome home, Bitcoin Truth Seekers. It is Wednesday, March 10th, 8:51 a.m. here in the Arizona desert. I got my good microphone working, but now the webcam is not. Well, we'll get by. So, today, a wonderful day in the market. I gotta recommend, go to bitcoindailyview.com. Check out this amazing interview with Dominic Frisby. It's over on the YouTube channel What Bitcoin Did, a very good crypto channel. It's not just about Bitcoin, even though it's called What Bitcoin Did. And they talk about Bitcoin, gold, and taxes. And also, really, the rise of the digital economy, the gig economy, what that actually is, defining that, etc. I'll link to it at the end of the video, so it'll be one of the suggested videos that comes up. But really, this is, if you're into crypto and the big picture, also if you're a fan of Tim Ferriss and the idea of the 4-hour work week, etc. So really, they go deep. This is just from yesterday or the day before. Powerful interview, and as you're listening to it, I'm sure you'll want to click on this and get his book, Daylight Robbery, basically a history of Western civilization via taxes. This is good stuff. Truth Seekers, check it out. All right, with that said, against USDT or USD, a green day in the market. It's nice to see Bitcoin pumping like crazy, hitting 56,000. Dot is well in the green. Everyone likes Dot, and so is Theta. I'm kind of wishing now I hadn't sold my Theta at a loss a few weeks ago, because now it wouldn't have been. Also, Matic definitely showing up for work, and so is BAT. We'll take a look at those as we rock through. All right. Of course, Coin 360 versus BTC, just it doesn't want to work today, so forget it. It's kind of like my webcam. All right. Volume last 24 hours, 7.7 billion. Not bad at all. Basically 4 billion of that on Binance, and 1.5 of that billion of that on Coinbase. And of course, this is just strictly Bitcoin trading volume. So that's some nice volume. It's funny how Binance is doing so well. Coinbase is oftentimes hitting over a billion, but none of the other exchanges are really making it happen. Just something to note. All right, where all that beautiful volume is on Binance, 64% long, 35% short. So I would say the sentiment right now is long, although after crazy pumping, it does look like maybe Bitcoin's going to take a little bit of a break and go sideways. Bitcoin supply visualized. Well, take this for what it's worth. I'll go into this maybe next daily view. We'll break this down a little bit more. This is linked to over at bitcoindailyview.com. It's actually very, very valuable. It just goes to show where is the Bitcoin that exists. On a daily chart, Bitcoin, of course, has a beautiful green candle today, well above the 21 EMA. We've had several days of strong green candles. This is wonderful on the daily, of course, above the 21 EMA and above the 200 moving average. This is powerful. A very, very powerful, nice, strong daily MACD cross towards the positive side. That is definitely going to create a upwards pressure, or I should say like an upwards velocity. We're above the mid-range here on the MACD, so if I was longing Bitcoin, I would have more confidence to have a bit of a I have more confidence to long it now and not be afraid of any retraces that it might have along the way. You can really just look historically at the MACD changes. Like look at this one here from positive to negative and back to positive, and then see how that reflects in the chart. It is a really powerful indicator for Bitcoin. So right now we're definitely on an uptrend. So I'm going to be more ballsy in my longs on alts and also on Bitcoin. And let's look at the 3-day. It's weird having the webcam not work. I'll get that working later today. I just wanted to get this out. I feel like I can't see you, even though, well, I can't. You guys just see me, but it's weird. I feel like I'm missing something. So on the 3-day chart, the 3-day candle started on the 8th. So that's 8th, 9th. It ends today. So we're going to have 1, 2, most likely 3-day candles in a row, which are green. That's wonderful. If we can get a third one, that definitely will show a positive, I wouldn't say reversal, but a positive uptrend. And look and note this here, the MACD was going across negative, but boom, now the fulcrum's going upwards. So we're definitely pushing positive. A 3-day positive MACD, a daily MACD that's positive. That's really wonderful. Now just focusing on the MACD here, let's look at the 4-hour MACD. All right, We're above the mid-range. We're positive. Histogram's opening in the right direction. That's powerful. 2-hour MACD, a very, very powerful indicator for immediate price action for Bitcoin, has crossed positive. So really, we are starting today. This is a darn positive day. Looks like we're hitting a positive cycle towards an uptrend for Bitcoin. So we shall see. We're going to have to basically test some all-time high or the all-time high recently. And we're going to break through it or not. Well, right now we are starting with a lot of momentum towards that direction. All right, looking at the 4-hour chart in detail with all the fancy indicators, you can kind of see, even though it's very, very jagged, an upwards channel recently that has formed. The directional index is in the green. ADX is at 25. That's wonderful. The squeeze indicator showing a positive trend. KRI, which predates RSI basically, positive. A stochastic RSI still in a buy zone, moving up. So 4-hour chart positive above the 200 moving average. You can see recent bounces off the 200 moving average, which means we're definitely not too overextended in this run. And what I would mean by that, if you look here, look at this kind of gap we have when we got up here to the top between the 200 moving average and Bitcoin there. So the Bitcoin price action. So this is where you start to get overextended. Like the further you get from the 200 moving average, the more likely you are to pull back. And as you can see, we got quite far from the 200 moving average, and boom, we retraced. So I love really getting in on coins right after that 200 moving average bounce, especially here on the 4-hour chart. Looks like we're going to go and challenge, of course, all-time highs once again. Looking at the 45-minute chart here for immediate price action, we'll look at that upwards channel a little bit more closely here. Oh, darn it, sorry about that. Go away, and darn it. Wait, sorry. I just went to delete this silly line that I made. Sorry to hold you up, folks. All right, so looking at this, wonderful. You can see this powerful upwards channel that we're in. We're hanging out here a little bit above the mid-range. On the 45-minute chart, we're above the 200 moving average. Also, the 200 moving average is above the 314. This is powerful. We're good to go. Directional index is in the green. ADX is a little low after the dump we had earlier this morning, but we're recovering from that. It's at 17. You watch for that to start hitting 20 plus. We're going to see some serious upward movement. If we look at the squeeze indicator, let me open this up a little bit so we can see these indicators a little more clearly. Squeeze indicator is firing off a positive upwards momentum there. KRI is where we want it. Stochastic RSI is a little bit overextended, but it can certainly go sideways as Bitcoin pumps. So, taking a slight breather on the short time frame here. Looking at the 4-hour and the 45-minute chart, looks like we're just continuing up. We have support from the daily and the 3-day chart. So, I mean, Bitcoin, it's going to make a run. I have no doubt. Not financial advice, of course. Entertainment purposes only. I'm not a financial advisor or a life coach, but I've got a computer and a monitor and the internet, and I'm talking shit. So anyway, I just wanted to mention that I have a good deal of confidence that we have started a nice upwards swing. We should just see how long it lasts. But right now, looking at a 3-day and daily, 4-hour and 45-minute charts, all together, we are a rocket ship to Pluto, at least for the moment. Ethereum versus USDT, it's made some upward moves recently. It took a hard dump when Bitcoin did just earlier. It has recovered. I mean, if you look overall, what I'm seeing right now is a little bit of a lack of excitement here in the Ethereum chart. Vitalik Buterin was on the Tim Ferriss podcast. I'll post that later on today in the Bitcoin Daily View Telegram chat. Definitely a place to be. Link to it over at bitcoindailybee.com. Come join the conversation. We're always you're missing a lot if you're not there. Oftentimes there's more there than here. So, Vitalik Buterin, the creator of, or co-creator, you could say, a creator of Ethereum, was on Tim Ferriss' podcast recently. That's not necessarily crypto kind of news, so it hasn't quite gotten the attention that I think it's going to get as this day and tomorrow progresses. And Vitalik Buterin says, in the next 4 weeks or so, we definitely have a scaling solution that we're going to be implementing. Some updates to Ethereum that will allow the transaction issues to just go away, or at least be greatly alleviated. So that's going to lower mining prices, etc. We already have the 1559, I think it's called, which kind of screws the miners, but does make the transaction costs much cheaper. So really, watch Ethereum. A lot of powerful good news coming out. Its pump is not as exciting as the Bitcoin one is here, looking at the charts. I mean, we do see a positive directional index, but the directional index is not so positive up top here. It is green. ADX is falling because of the recent volatility, but the squeeze indicator is about to fire off. KRI is in the right spot. Stochastic RSI is cooling off. So definitely sideways, but I'm feeling a pretty confident sideways here for Ethereum. And as the news rolls out over the course of the rest of this week, especially if we do, especially in the next couple of weeks, if we do definitely have confidence in the upgrades coming out to make the transactions faster and also cheaper with a 1559, I think it is. I forget. It's an implementation to start burning some ETH, I think it is, during transactions, etc. I forget all the details, but anyway, it's not great for miners, and I'm an ETH miner, so I'm like, eh. But anyway, all for the good cause. Miners are going to make less. They're going to make Ethereum faster. You'll watch this guy for a serious blast off. You know, when we're looking at the Bitcoin chart, it's in general more exciting right now. Ethereum is not quite as exciting, but this sideways action, this very well, even though we're looking at a very short time frame here, 45 minutes. Let's look at 4 hours here. Yeah, you can see recently up top here, this little, you know, bit of consolidation right there. I guess I could maybe make that a little bit more seeable. So if we look at this, make that, yeah. Anyway, sorry if that's not bright enough to really see, but you can kind of see right now as Bitcoin has been pumping, we are seeing some, you know, consolidation here, a little bit of sideways action amidst all this volatility. Even though we are ultimately looking good on the 4 hour chart, we've broken above the 200 moving average. You know, we ranged between the 200 and the 314 for a while, as you can see. We broke above the 200. We're moving good, very, very well. And now we're kind of sideways consolidating while Bitcoin is rocket shipping to Pluto. So with that said, this 4 hour chart does look good. Directional X is in the green. ADX isn't quite where we want it yet, but it is above 20. It's like 22. You can see the squeeze indicator are beginning to cool off the recent move up we had. KRI is still in the green and beautiful. Stochastic RSI, though, does show we are a bit oversold. So we're moving into a territory where we'll probably see a move up. And I would just mention that I think when Ethereum starts moving, especially if the news continues to be good, 155 something gets rolled out, which screws miners but helps people who use Ethereum make transactions cheaper. And then also, like I said, don't want to belabor it, but I will link to the Tim Ferriss podcast with Vitalik Buterin. Also find an article, and I'll post that too, where if really the upgrades are going to make it faster, just watch out. That will fire up more. I think DeFi also, and NFT projects are gonna rock from that. So watch this. This might be the launch pad for a rocket ship to Pluto that will be just friggin' legendary. I'm looking at it's gonna be like so anyway, with that said, Theta USDT, it's really rocking. Directional index is in the green. ADX is where we want it. The squeeze indicator is showing a slight cool off right now. KRI is right. Stochastic RSI does show a little bit overbought. Anyway, watch this guy here, Theta. Like I say, I wish I hadn't sold where I sold, you know, which was, we all have these little remorses, but I kind of sold back here. I was like, it's over. Anyway, well, I should look at a 45-minute chart, or a 4 hour chart to show that. But yeah, I kind of figured, yeah, actually the truth is I sold, like back here. I was like, it's over. Anyway, big mistake. Now it's really rocking. We all do that. But looking at the 4 hour chart here, you can see we had this bounce off the 200 moving average here. Powerful bounce, up we go. A little bit some powerful retraces, but that's fine. Directional index is green. ADX is where we want it. Squeeze indicator shows all systems go. Looking at this 4 hour chart, looking at the 4 hour chart here, you can definitely see, oh my gosh, we're going to see some sideways action, probably build a little plateau, you know, right about like through here, and then we're just going to probably, you know, that's what it looks like to me. So Theta against USDT looking really powerful. I want to avoid looking at things versus BTC because I think it's just it gets to be overwhelming to cover in this time frame. But if you look at Theta, when you see something moving this powerful against USDT and BTC, that's really a positive thing. So Theta, you know, right now I'd be a little bit careful because you know, BTC is pumping. But, you know, will Theta stay in front of BTC pumping? I don't know. I'd watch for BTC to maybe do a little bit of a retrace, some sideways action, and if it does, Theta against BTC, it's going to continue moving. Right now, this is a pretty good chart, although it's cooling off. Theta against BTC. DOT, everyone likes DOT. It's rocking versus BTC, as you can see. Powerful 200 moving average cross here. We had a little while back, you know, boom. and now it's moving. A lot of volatility, as you can see. This is, DOT is a great one to show the kind of volatility that we are, dealing with right now. I mean, look at that in volatility. Oh my gosh! But if you got diamond hands, I mean, if you can weather that storm, you're doing quite well. I mean, I do a little shout out to blockchain education. I get a lot of my charting skills from there, and they are linked to over at bitcoindailyview.com. And one of the trading rules there would be after this 200 moving average cross, which was very powerful. That's what the diamond is. It shows a 314 and a 200 moving average cross in a very short time frame. Really, we're going to wait until these Madrid ribbons turn red again, and we do a negative 2-hour cross, which is probably going to be way over here somewhere. You can't even fit it on the screen, and that's where you'd get out. You'll lose a little, but you won't sell. When you have dips like this, most people would have sold if you had trailing take profit. I mean, it's understandable. But if you got the cojones and you can stay in and follow some, proven trading rules, trading methodologies, then you're going to make a bit more money usually. So Blockchain Education, check them out in the show notes because this is powerful stuff. The crew there, we got in here and we are holding tight. Some people have stopped out, of course, but if you really do follow the methodology, wait for these Madrid ribbons to turn red and do a negative 200 moving average cross here in the 45-minute chart, you will make money. Not financial advice, of course, just saying. Here's an old project here. This is the RVN project, Raven project, and I think we're going to see some movement out of these guys because with all the NFT stuff, I mean, Raven was tokenizing assets before it was cool. And so I'm not sure what's going on here, but this is a ridiculous and powerful 200 moving average cross. Got your diamond there, what you're looking for. So we crossed the 200 and the 314. Boom! Look at these wicks. This chart is powerful, the indicators. Raven, what in the heck's going on? Raven uses USDT. It is moving, and I'm just kind of intuiting here. I think this may be because we're going to hear about RVN and some of the NFT stuff which is going on. It really would be a great project to adopt. I would actually say a great project to use for NFTs, and it's a GPU mineable project only, etc. So interesting stuff, one to watch. I don't know why it's pumping. It could just be because it is, but I'm looking for the NFT connection here because, like I say, RVN was tokenizing assets way before it was, it was cool. Beam, another one. I'm just mentioning Beam because it's not what you don't oftentimes hear a lot about. It basically is Grin. It's a Nimble protocol, but tremendously better user interface, beautiful wallet, etc. I think easier to implement, and so for those who care about Nimble who think that might be a player in the future, Beam is basically a version of Grin that doesn't suck. You can see back here, beautiful 200 moving average crosses. This sucker has been going, the volatility has been crazy, but overall it is moving. Directional index is right with this volatility recently. The ADX is kind of low, but we're firing off here. We've got a beautiful squeeze indicator saying positive, positive, positive. KRI looking good. Stochastic RSI shows slightly oversold. One to watch, Beam. I do think privacy is a big deal. I think a lot of the I would say that for those who are looking for a privacy coin for whatever reason you might be, having that interest to develop things with that blockchain, etc. Beam, much better than Grin, in my humble opinion. And watch Beam. Things are happening there. BAT. Everybody likes BAT. Or maybe they don't like BAT. I don't know. It's a bit of a low sat coin, which is always a little hard to play. But basically, look at this. We've had an amazing 200 moving average cross. Bounced off it. This is a 45-minute chart. We're looking good. It really pumped this morning. Now it retraced. It's chilling, but overall these indicators still look good. I think it might be run time for BAT. Let's look at it on a 4-hour chart. Yeah, I mean, look at that. This is really, really wonderful. Looking at the 4-hour chart, zooming out a little bit, you can see where it's been flirting with the 200 moving average. It's always a positive thing. It has made a move above. It pumped, retraced, pumped, slight retrace right now, but the directional index is in the green. ADX is exactly where we want it. A squeeze just fired off on the 45-minute chart. Amazing. KRI very high. Stochastic RSI still in the buy zone. BAT in pure Lambo mode. All right. I am glad you're here at Bitcoin Truth Seekers. This does make a difference. The way to make the world a better place is own a Satoshi of anything. I really got to endorse, go over to Bitcoin Daily View and check out this interview on what Bitcoin did with Dominic Frisby. It is completely badass if you care about this space and a positive future for humanity. A positive future for humanity, created from humanity, and not the evil globalist garbage that runs the world right now that is getting its ass kicked. This video is essential, and so is this book. Check them both out. You can get this book on Audible, Daylight Robbery. It kicks ass. I'm glad you're here. I'll get my webcam working, and I will see you tomorrow or later today if something extraordinary happens.